Cut the damn music. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airways of ESPN Radio. That's 98.7 FM New York City. That's 710 ESPN in LA. And, of course, nationwide over the airways of ESPN Radio, Sirius XM style, Channel 80. Got a lot of NFL stuff to get into. Of course, a little bit of NBA as well. I'm in Philadelphia. Cleveland Cavaliers will be playing the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid will be going up against LeBron James and the crew. Can't wait for that. Obviously, a lot of football stuff to get into. The Jets blowing the game against the Carolina Panthers yesterday. The Los Angeles Rams legitimizing themselves more and more every week. And, of course, the Chargers in a position to possibly win the AFC West. A whole bunch of stuff. Steelers winning last night, even though the game was tougher than it should have been. Tom Brady getting beat up by Miami, even though he routed them. Philadelphia Eagles still looking like the best team in football. Whole bunch of stuff to get into, and I intend to. But you're going to have to forgive me because I got something on my mind. I got something on my mind because I don't know whether to be furious and ticked off and just leave it at that, or to allow the level of depression to overtake me as it pertains to how much as a society we have regressed. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, we talk about the United States of America, and obviously we don't need to get political here. But we talk about the United States of America, and we talk about this country being the greatest country on God's green earth. We talk about the rights that we have as American citizens. We talk about innocence until proven guilty. We talk about all of these things that we lean on and hold on to for dear life because it makes our country what we are. It's why people are willing to go through everything from jungles to shark-infested waters, to go through all of these things and beyond just to come over to this nation. It's why you've got folks out there talking about building a wall to keep folks out because so many people want to come to the United States of America. It's about what we stand for. It's about what we're supposed to be about. And without getting too deep into the weeds, waxing poetically about our nation and what we stand for and what have you, let me bring it back directly to where it should be in the sports world today. And that is what is the travesty, the miscarriage of justice that took place at the University of Tennessee this past weekend. Greg Schiano, former coach at Rutgers, did a decent job there, by the way. Took the worst program arguably in America and made it a competitor for a national championship at one point for one season. That same Greg Schiano, who didn't do a good job at Tampa Bay. That same Greg Schiano who I've met just one time. I don't know him from a can of paint. That same Greg Schiano has been railroaded. He's been screwed over. He's received a raw deal. And as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, anybody with any core decency in their heart should feel just as ticked off and riled up as I am this morning. This is a disgrace. A flat out disgrace. And I'm not on these airwaves, on this particular show, talking about Greg Schiano, the great football coach that's being robbed. I don't know what kind of damn job he would have done at Tennessee. I don't know whether he would have been just as good, if not better, than Phil, than Philma, the former coach, or anybody else. I don't know whether he would have stunk at the job. I have no clue. But for this man to miss out, to have the University of Tennessee essentially renege, not essentially, but literally renege on an agreed deal for him to be the head coach because of some proposed involvement in a whole Jerry Sandusky child molestation scandal, it's beyond the pale. It's beyond the pale. And anybody who isn't sick to their stomach over what has happened to this man, you should be ashamed of yourself. going to tell you something right now. I'm going to say something over these airwaves right here on ESPN Radio that I have never said about anybody in my career. I might have called for somebody to be fired because, damn it, their results just weren't great. Or their actions were so egregious, you know what, you had to make that decision. But I was never happy about it. But I want to state for the record, any fan, any of those sorry, no good protesters, anybody associated with Tennessee who directly had something to do with reneging on the promise that this man would be the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, pox on all your damn houses. I hope all of y'all lose your jobs. I don't give a damn if you're a construction worker. You work at the post office. You're an administration official. You're the president. I don't give a damn who it is. Whoever had something to do with this man losing out on this job, whoever instigated this mob scene that took place in Tennessee, let me tell y'all something right now. Pox on all your damn houses. I hope whatever job you have, you get fired. I hope nothing but misery comes your way. I hope the same kind of misery that you probably have caused this man in his life happens to you. This is a disgrace. Now let me get specific, okay? For those of you who don't know what happened and exactly what transpired. Greg Schiano was a Penn State assistant from 1990 to 1995. Okay? If y'all recall Jerry Sandusky, who was convicted in 2012 of 45 counts of child molestation. If ever there was an individual that deserved to be thrown under the damn cell with a bunch of sodomites, it's him. Well, what he did to kids. According to some former assistant coach, Mike McQueary, okay? Because I'm just giving you the story here. Mike McQueary gave testimony during a deposition. I believe it was a court deposition from 2015 with a former graduate assistant. He wasn't even an assistant coach, he was a graduate assistant. Said he admitted he walked in on Sandusky and a boy in a shower. And he accused Schiano of seeing something similar because apparently a former assistant coach, Tom Bradley, had told him so. Greg Schiano has emphatically denied it. Said he knew nothing of such a thing. Matter of fact, was quoted weeks later, if not days later, saying if he had seen something like that, he would have put Sandusky through a wall. Bradley, the former assistant, confirmed he didn't see anything either, and he didn't tell McQueary that Schiano had seen anything. So what you have is McQueary, the graduate assistant, intimating that Schiano knew of such, of at least one action by Jerry Sandusky, one act. And even he got that second hand. He didn't see it directly. He didn't hear from Schiano directly. Somebody told him that Schiano said something to them. Schiano denies it. The person who supposedly told McQueary that, and Mr. Bradley, he denied it. And that's all you have. Schiano has been vetted by Tampa. He's the defensive coordinator at Ohio State under the great Urban Meyer. He's been vetted. You've got Bill Belichick, the head coach for the New England Patriots, whose son played for Schiano at Rutgers. He said he would vouch for his character 100%. You have nothing on this man. And there's a mob scene on the campus of the University of Tennessee with people plastering posters up, accusing Schiano of hiding child rape, covering up child rape. How could you do that to this man? How could you do that to any human being? No evidence whatsoever. You don't want Schiano as your coach. You don't want him as your coach. That's fair. But to use Jerry Sandusky's reign of terror as a child molester, to associate Schiano's name with that, based on nothing more than hearsay, it's criminal. It is so wrong on so many levels. It should make you want to cry. You know, there's a player that used to play at Rutgers once. His name is Eric LeGrand. Remember what happened to him? Remember in 2010, I believe it was, when he got paralyzed from a hit on a football field after making a tackle in 2010? Paralyzed from the shoulders down. You know, there's this article out there where it's talking about how Schiano drove an hour away every day to see the kid, to be by his bedside, to help him the best way he could, to make sure that this kid had the best of everything. It's in a Rutgers University newspaper, I believe. And it's talking about how LeGrand just gets reduced to tears thinking about how much of a father figure Greg Schiano has been to him. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? All of that ain't even necessary. As beautiful as that story is, as great as it makes Greg Schiano look, as decent at his core as it is evident that he is, it ain't even necessary. There's no human being that this should happen to. There's no excuse for this. You don't want him to be the coach of your football program. Use football reasons to justify it. But for a mere accusation that has never been corroborated, has never been confirmed, for him to lose out on a job because his name is associated with child molestation, him being accused of covering up the actions of Jerry Sandusky, to use that to keep this man from getting a job. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I've lost faith. This is one of those moments where I've lost faith in some people in this country. And damn it, dare I say the human race. That's all it takes to sit here and accuse this man with no evidence whatsoever of this, and to have his name associated with this, just to keep him from getting a football job. And they got away with it because of Tennessee's weak, pathetic selves. Those fans who were protesting, those officials who caved. Pox on all your damn houses. I wish you nothing but misery. 866-729-ESPN. More of the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio on its way in a minute.